Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of So Cool. Just trying to keep cool with all the awesome pop culture, sports, and other stuff I'm into. Just sharing some information out there. You know how it goes. You know the way the world is and all the cool stuff that's out there right now. Gonna hit you with a couple quick updates in the entertainment industry. Apparently Artemis Fowl is going to be streaming soon on Disney Plus. That's going to hit you guys in June. And that's what's happening out there now. A lot of movies are just kind of going straight to streaming services because no one's going to the theater. COVID-19 got us all kind of scared, and I don't blame anyone that's kind of scared from it, but that's what's happening right now. Another thing that's happening is there might be a Shining TV show happening. They might call it Overlook. J.J. Abrams might be behind that, but we're not sure yet. That's another thing that's in the pipeline. I know he's also trying to work on a Justice League Dark TV show, but that's something else also that might be happening. Those are a couple of things out there right now. Another thing that's interesting that might happen is the Rogue One Disney Plus series. I think with Diego Luna, the Cassian Andor series. Personally, I like Diego Luna. I think he was pretty good in Narcos. He was awesome in what is that movie? Darn it, it's slipping my mind right now. It's another Neil Blomkamp film. I think Matt Damon was the star in that film. It's eluding me right now, but yeah, he was good in that movie too. He's a good actor, good in Star Wars 2 and Rogue One, but that show should be awesome too whenever it comes out. We also have, Dune. Some Dune, I think, images were released earlier in the week. Story about Dune. I was way too young when I saw it at the theater. Had no business seeing that. Begged my father to take me to watch it. Ended up seeing it, and let's just say I fell asleep because I was like 7 or 8 years old. Can't remember, but I think I'm more than old enough and ready to see a Dune remake. A lot of people probably know the books that Dune were based on kind of influenced George Lucas into creating Star Wars. So that's a interesting tidbit there if you didn't know that or not. But yeah, that's also pretty cool. Those are some of the headlines I've heard or read about out there in the entertainment industry, movies, TV shows, that kind of thing. I did catch a couple new movies myself. I would say newer, being that I have a small child. It's difficult to see movies when they first come out. Can't see them like I used to. But the best one I did end up liking was the new Terminator, Dark Fate. It was really good. I'm not sure why it bombed at the box office, but the story was really good. The way they used Linda Hamilton and Arnie there to kind of usher in the new generation of actors that are going to be taking over Terminator series, which based on the box office sales probably ain't going to happen no more. But it was really good. I actually liked that film. Tim Miller, same guy who directed the first Deadpool, did it. It had a lot of action. There were some moments in there where you get the feeling that they were trying to get the same feel as Terminator 2. This is supposed to be a sequel after Terminator 2, ignoring all the other sequels. The Rise of the Machines, the Terminator Salvation, the Terminator Genesis films. Just totally ignoring those movies and trying to take place right after Terminator Judgment Day. I guess that's a cool idea. They did the same thing with Halloween. It kind of can work. But overall, yeah, I did like the movie. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone out there that didn't see it. But yeah, you guys should give it a shot, give it some time, check it out. I also was able to see the new Bad Boys movie, which was really good. With Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, they kind of, expanded upon the whole theme of Martin Lawrence is trying to, like he did in the last film and the second Bad Boys, kind of trying to wind down and start to stop being so reckless in the film. I'm not going to give away any plot points or anything like that, but Will Smith is really good in it. The guy can still do action. I know there's some folks out there think Will Smith is the same guy in every single movie, and I get that argument too, but he was really good. Also was pretty good in Gemini Man, if you saw it. I like that action flick too. But those were a couple of the new films I saw recently. But I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone. Check them out if you have the time. And I will drop one other film that I saw, an older film. For people out there, probably an old film that's been reviewed to death. Mortal Kombat, first Mortal Kombat. Sometimes when you have a little one, again, you just put on some stuff that you're not going to have to pay attention to. And that's one of the films I put on. And it's definitely one of the better video game movies out there that you could see if you've never seen it. It's got some terrible prosthetic effects that no longer hold up nowadays, but back in those days, it was pretty awesome to see that if you were a fan of the game. But that's something else I saw. Would be cool to do a whole podcast. I might do a podcast of just video game movies. Maybe I can get a couple friends on with me, and we can kind of talk about what we thought at that time, some of the films and other films that were inspired by video games. And I think there's a couple. Basically, that's my little rundown on films and entertainment today. I do have one other thing to mention. Sports-wise, I'm pretty excited about the Last Dance documentary dropping about the '98 Chicago Bulls. Growing up a Bulls fan, like a lot of people did back in the '90s, it's going to be pretty cool to see an updated, behind-the-scenes look at that last title run that took place in 1998. I know a lot of people like to compare teams. The Bulls get compared to the Golden State Warriors, who went 73-9. They get compared to, some of the three-peat teams from the Lakers. They get compared to a lot of the greatest teams of all time. But I think it's pretty safe to say that team, more so than some of the other teams, was kind of the one that globalized basketball. I think for a lot of fans, just Michael Jordan was an enigma, not just nationally but internationally, because he was in the Olympics, because of what he did with the Dream Team, showing people from all around the world that he was completely competitive in every sense of the word, and not going to be, taking anything less than a championship or the top spot, or trying to get there. And I think that inspired a lot of people, because a lot of people want to strive to be the best in anything that they do. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. I'm a little concerned that they moved up the release date, because that means they might have rushed the production a little bit. So we'll see what we get. But in any case, right now, when there ain't no sports to watch, it's going to be something that I'm sure everybody's going to watch. Just like everybody watched Tiger King. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. There's not much else in the sports world to talk about. I know right now there's NFL draft coming up. It's kind of anticlimactic. We'll see how the whole draft from virtually goes. I know there's some NFL free agency. I know there's some front office moves happening for some teams, especially the Bulls. Another one. I wonder if that just happened to coincide with the release of this documentary, that they don't want to be in the background. They want to push themselves up and show that they are relevant again. Changing the GM is a big deal. Getting rid of John Paxson and Gar Forman after probably 18, 19 years is a pretty big deal. A lot of fans were ready for a change in the front office based on the moves that they've done, the draft, the head coaching they decided to go with. A lot of those things kind of are difficult to deal with as a fan, especially when you go through all that. I just got a text message here. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to be a Bulls fan. We'll see how the front office changes with Arturas running it. We'll see who he ends up bringing in as GM. We'll see what happens with the core players, if there's any changes. And pretty excited. But that's really my sports roundup right now. Bulls fan, if you can tell, from Chicago. So there you go. Any questions, guys? Anything you guys want to hear me talk about, just drop a line, leave me a message, and we'll get back to it and see how it goes from there. Again, thanks for listening to the podcast, and I hope you guys check me out some more. Take care and stay safe.